Hi everyone, greetings for the day. This is Divya from Trend Brain, and today's the session I'm going to talk about the syllabus and the books that is followed in grade 1. The first subject that the students of grade 1 is going to have is English, and this book, The English Expedition, is an integrated English language course which follows the latest CISE curriculum. It has a combination of both language lessons as well as grammar. Now, if you look very deeply into the contents, we have a wide variety of rich selection of texts and lessons from various genres of fictions and non-fictions and poetry. And each of these lessons, which is mentioned in the course book, is a series which focuses majorly on the comprehensions, and rigorous practice sessions are also given, followed by every lesson. So every lesson, if you see, we have a detailed version of the story which has been there, and followed by the story there are certain comprehension questions. Now, why these comprehensions are important is because every time that the child is introduced to comprehensions, there are lots of questions which gets introduced to. So what we would be working over here is like there could be like match the following, a thinkable format of whether the child has understood the context, by they understand whether the statements are true or false. They think virtually. Sometimes they would be able to answer the questions. It could be the shorter questions or it could be the longer questions. And at the same time, we would also focus on the vocabulary in every sections. Every time that we ask a lot of questions, what happens is like it helps the children to think, and their thinking skills are literally getting encouraged. So that's the reason there would be more number of question and answers, followed by the comprehension. We would always work on towards the vocabulary, the very few words that will get introduced in every lesson. So vocabularies will be focused on, and then we would have a grammar section. Now, why we need to have a grammar section is grammar actually focuses on the actual context. At the same time, it also helps you to structure and gives out a lot of rules, like and at the same time we would also keep it very simple, jargon free explanations. There would be n number of illustrative examples. Now, if you see on the index, every chapter is followed by vocabulary, then we have the grammar section, and again in the grammar we have a detailed section of what kind of grammar is getting introduced. Now, say for example in chapter 1 we would be working more on nouns and pronouns and identifying, then we would be demonstrating the pronouns and usage of all of that. Now, at the same time, we would also be focusing more on the sounds and pronunciations in every, it could be like every word which has been there in the lesson. So sounds and pronunciations are also very important. So some of the chapters do also have poems. Okay, so if you turn around the pages, we do have some of the lessons which also has a very short poem. So thereby what happens here is like, there are short poems over here. Now again, the rhythms of poetry is also like included in the context itself. Now, the more that we give an exposition for the sounds and the rhythm of poetry, children are getting towards the simplified phonetics, and they're learning it in a very simplified way. Now, every lesson towards the end has got an appreciation. So we have this figures of speech or imaginary symbols or interpretations, which is going to help our children to get appreciations. Now, there are the visuals, there are digital content, so that the children would be able to listen, and the same lessons are also getting digitized, so children will be able to listen to every lesson, and that's going to boost up their comprehensive and interference with the dialogues. It could be or passage writing or the poems or anything which is related to audio. Okay, so that's going to be an additional helpful for our children because they would be able to help on. So you could see we have a CD. The English Expedition also comes with CD, and this is also a part of our study material. Okay, so this is going to help our children too. And then coming down to speaking, definitely yes, every lesson and every context is going to also focus mainly on students to train the children. It could be on formal situations or informal situations to talk. Okay, so there would be a lot of group discussions in the form of multiple forms or social interactions. And if you see, like, on speaking, say for example, if I've taken this particular chapter, there are certain questions which is related to reading, so you give them situations and children are able to speak out and share their experiences. And most importantly, like once the children are thorough with the content, they understand the grammar, they understand the vocabulary, the sounds, and they're good enough to read. Writing is something which needs to be given a focus on. So there are certain question and answers where child is supposed to be writing. So that's where the phonetic way is going to help the children. Children will be able to write question and answers. They're going to write, they would be able to write like the grammar answers, or they might be able to write a comprehension answers. So writing would also be helpful for all of them. And nevertheless, like activities and project works are always included, and all these tasks will be relatively thematically developed, and the lessons are planned in such a way that the children will be able to explore a lot of ideas on their own. And I'm very much sure that it is going to be on an activity based. So these are the 19 chapters that we have, and there's a thorough detailed lesson plan for every skill. It could be on the chapter, the vocabulary, the grammar, the sounds and pronunciations, like what are the useful words that we need to be remembering, the listening skills, what needs to be emphasized for speaking, for writing, and for the activity or the project work. And this book covers for all the 19 chapters, and it's a combination of both your language as well as the grammar. So this is our first subject, so it's English. Now let's move on to the next subject, mathematics. Welcome back. The second subject for our grade 1 student is mathematics, and the book that we have chosen for this year is called Startup Mathematics, wherein children would be focusing more on learning, understanding and applying the concepts. And the book is based upon the NCERT guidelines. Now this is by Monica Abhijit, and a well-known author. And for mathematics, what we would be working is like the vision of the entire the class is like, to help the child develop numerical ability, and at the same time the child will be able to also focus on the problem solving approaches, on the logical conclusions, and at the same time we would also be working to correlate 4 fundamental operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And thereby, when you are doing more number of mathematical exercises for the child will be able to exercise each of the problem statements, and also will be able to articulate multiple reasons for it. Now what as teachers and parents we got to be doing is like we got to give them lots of mathematical thinking skills and systematic reasoning questions, so that the child will be able to develop the concepts confidentially and would be able to apply in their day-to-day life. And let's see what is the context or the contents that we have it for the academic year. To begin with, we do have numbers from 1 to 9. We do start with numbers from 1 to 9. Now this is as a recapitulation session wherein we would begin again with counting from 1 to 9, writing and making sure that the child understands the concepts of ones and the concept of 0. And we also will be working towards finding the bigger and the smaller number, pre-mathematical concept of more and less, equal numbers, before, after and ordering sequences. Every content is also followed by an activity and worksheet. And later we move on to concepts like addition, subtractions, position, shapes, numbers from 10 to 20, numbers from 21 to 99, addition, subtraction, pattern writing, time, money management, measurement, data handling, ordinal numbers and multiplication. And the children, if they are fine with multiplication, we would also be focusing further towards division. And this would be a detailed content for our children. And this activity comes with, this is a textbook. And in the textbook, we will be focusing more on the story-based introduction, making sure that the children are given enough tips to remember the problem-solving nature. And then every chapter has got enough number of exercises, that there would be a lot of questions which is based upon the values and life skills. And there are concept-based activities and worksheets which has been printed in the textbook. Okay, and after every chapter is done, there are review tests and assessments, and some NCERT questions are also given towards the end of it, so child would be able to practice more on the skills. So this is our course content for the academic year, and this is our second subject called mathematics. Welcome back. The third chapter for Standard 1 students is Environmental Studies, and this book is based upon the latest CISE curriculum. The book that I've chosen for the students of grade 1 is by Sangeeta Gupta. Let's take a sneak peek of what are the table of contents we have inside the book. The first thing is a sing-along section. Now in sing-along section, there are lots of rhymes which is related to the themes of some chapters, which makes the learning much more fun. Then second thing is like we have a Rima Says section, which provides a child-friendly introduction to our chapter. This is a must and should. And then thereby we have the Granny Says sections, wherein we include a lot of words of wisdom and advices to inculcate positive values and attitude amongst children. And in the ask about questions, there are lots of questions which is related to topics which evoke the curiosity amongst the children is actually asked. And the book also has exercises to provide question and answers to encourage children to observe question, to predict and analyze what they have learned. And in the you know section, we include a lot of additional facts and information to make learning much more meaningful and interesting. And fun time is always included, wherein you have activities and questions that is going to make learning much more meaningful and learning. So you could see here, so if I'm turning towards any topic, there is a fun time, and you can actually work on the fun time over here. So there's like kind of a worksheet that I could say. Every chapter will have the same format of doing. So there'll be a creative corner, there's going to be a fun time, there's going to be a feeling corner, so you can actually work on it. And towards the creative corner, we have plethora of creative activities which is suggested in the CISE curriculum to encourage the children for learning by doing it. In talk about section, varieties of activities will allow children to participate, to talk about certain issues and enhance the skill of expression. And lots of projects are included, and these projects and activities are based upon the curriculum for better understanding and applying their knowledge in a particular work. And we also have experiments being inclusive of the book. This is going to stimulate the young minds to think scientifically and logically. And every chapter comes along with some insert sheets. Now these insert sheets will cover topics like sensitivity towards natural resources, the nature and people, or examples like good touch and bad touch, or story based teachings, and many others. And the last section is going to be on the revised section. So in revised sections, we will have wide range of questions to assess the overall learning of a child, whether the child has understood the concepts that they have learned. And these are the detailed contents that I could say the topics include. So we have 21 such lessons, and we begin with about me, our body, our sense organs, my family, our neighborhood and friends, food we eat, we need water, we need shelter, clothes we wear, we need air, keeping clean, staying healthy and safe, our neighborhood, people who work with us, or plants around us, useful plants, animals around us, vehicles we see, how we communicate, the world around me, weather and seasons. Every topic is further subdivided into table of contents. We got to understand about it and understand the special features also on it. Say for example, if I'm talking about safety, being safe and healthy, so it talks about exercising and play. So various exercises are given to children. Proper rest is also encouraged for children. And again, for the safety at home, we are going to work on safety at home, safety at school, safety on roads, safety with vehicles, safety while playing outside. So children are given a lot of lessons and encouragement based upon the table of content. And there are certain special features. So you have fun time exercising, or you talk about the safety rules, or you have certain like exercises on good touch and bad touch, wherein the child will be able to understand the lesson in a proper way. So this is the book that we have chosen, and you could see the book comes with amazing pictures, great font, and a lot of question and answers, revision sections, and the child would be able to like read and write with different kinds of exercises that is being motivated with. Okay, so this is our third subject, that's our environmental studies. Welcome back. The fourth subject that we have in our grade 1 is computer science and information technology, and this book is based upon Windows 7 and MS Office 2020. Now the entire book covers lab activities, computer etiquette, the project work, and the activity time. Let's take a look at the preface of what is the context that we have it in this particular book. See, we all know that computers is one of the most powerful inventions in the human history, and children need to be getting opportunities to learn wide range of opportunities to learn computers, right? Now in this particular book, we would be learning on the computer terminology. We would recognize the various parts of a computer. We would also learn how to handle the keyboard and mouse through specifically designed activities. Now every chapter that we have it in this book is mentioned in such a step-by-step manner that the children will be able to learn the language in a very, very conventional way. And it's every lessons are also like based upon lots of activities, so it's activity oriented. Plenty of screen captures are given, colorful illustrations. Along with that, it has been creatively designed, so the child will be able to focus individually or in the group also. So let's take a look at what is the table of content that we have. So chapter 1 deals about computer as a smart machine, and here is where we work on the content, like what kind of machine it is, what are the features of a machine, and about computer, the features of computer, the components that we use, and there are lots of assessments and certain projects which is based upon that. And then further we move on to uses of computer, then parts of computer, then monitor, and the computer, the keyboard, the mouse, and then we move on to some hands-on exercises on using Microsoft Paint. So take a look over here, and computer as a smart machine. So these are the different exercises that we do have it, and it's going to be super fun learning the computer. So this is our fourth subject, and this is by viva.com. The next subject we have as an inclusion in grade 1, something very important is value education. In this book, we are going to work more on values, the life skills, the personality development, and it also includes a separate section on yoga. So it's like a practical guide for each one of us, and the book is by Jaya Krishnaswamy. And what are we going to be learning in this particular book is about the values, because values cannot be easily taught, unlike any other subjects or topics. So there has to be lots of experiences, there has to be some kind of real scenarios which actually provides great essence for value learning. So what we would be working over here is like we bring certain lessons to all our readers, and there are lots of interactions which happen in the class. There would be open discussions on every topic. Once the lessons are shared, sharing the experiences, we work upon the narrations, the personal experiences in case if anybody has gone through, and then you work on introducing the values to children. Okay, and we also have certain lessons on introducing the rich cultural heritage of our country, or drawing inspirations from lives of many people who were really great in our country. And also it could have certain other lessons which is based upon things which occur daily around us. It could be in our school environment or beyond. And this is one of the curriculum which is provided by NCRT, and it focuses majorly on the value education for our children. So it's very important that we work as a team to provide different kinds of values like politeness or gratitude or care or teamwork, equality, courage or determination, perseverance, harmony, love for one another. Okay, so all these things is brought in together as a bundle of package in this particular book, and this is called as value education for our children. And these are the contexts that we do have, like my name is special, and if you see every chapter or every lesson that we have is actually focusing on a particular value, and there are amazing learning through this, and children would love doing this. So this is like a moral education or a value education time that they do have it in our lessons, and this is something which is a must and should inclusion in grade 1. So we discussed about the 5 books for the grade 1, but I have not received yet the Kannada and the other language books which needs to be included. For so far, we have the subject English, that's English Expedition. We have Startup Mathematics. Then we move on to our Environmental Science subject, and then we have our Computer Science. We have the book of Computer Science. This is by viva.net, and at last we do have a book on value education. So far these are the 5 books that we would be focusing on: the value education, the Viva Computer Science, the Environmental Science, then the Mathematics Conceptuals, and the English Expedition. I'll be sooner getting back with you in explaining about what is the context and what is the subject for our Kannada and other language lessons. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much, and I hope the video was helpful for you in understanding the curriculum or the book structure for our students of grade 1. Thank you and have a wonderful day.